When my parents said they wanted to adopt Dang Yang, I promptly moved out of the house. I've cleared out my spot. From now on, she'll be your biological daughter. We'll meet again if fate allows. As the cannon fodder supporting character in a story where everyone dotes on the protagonist, I've decided to just coast through this life. If Dang Yang wants to take my parents, she can have them. Take my brother. Take him away. Take the childhood sweetheart. It's free, oh dear. Now they're dumbfounded. On the day Dang Yang married her childhood sweetheart, I died. My soul drifted in midair as I arrived at their wedding venue. The wedding banquet was held at a 5-star hotel, and the venue was decorated in a luxurious and dreamy style. I have to say, my parents were truly willing to spend money on her, in a relaxed and joyful atmosphere. I watched my biological parents and brother take the stage one by one, offering warm and touching blessings to the newlyweds. And we chatted, took photos, and raised our glasses to drink together, until my brother, Joe, received a call from the police station. 2 minutes later, he hung up the phone and said expressionlessly, "Got it, brother." Who called? Dang Yang, dressed in a pure white, dreamy, and beautiful wedding gown, spoke with a hint of coquettishness in her tone. No one. Joe gently shook his head, looking at her with adoration, to avoid affecting Dang Yang's mood. He even kept the news of my death hidden from her. Actually, this is completely unnecessary, because just before she died, Dang Yang called me. It was she who signaled her crazy admirer to stab me to death. How could this bitch not know that I'm already dead? Dang Yang looked up, smiling brightly and joyfully at Joe. "Thank you, brother, for everything you and mom and dad have done for me. I really, really love you all so much. Fuck, even as a ghost." I couldn't help but curse under my breath. Dang Yang was always good at spouting these cheesy and utterly useless pleasantries. Anyway, it doesn't cost anything, and it can make these idiots completely devoted to her. Why not do it? Joe was indeed deeply moved, and he tightly embraced Dang Yang, then gently kissed her on the forehead. "You're welcome, Yang. You deserve all of this." The two shared a knowing smile. I was so angry I couldn't stand it anymore. Just as I rushed over to give Joe a hard kick, the scene before my eyes suddenly transformed, switching rapidly as if a movie were playing. After a wave of dizziness, I was reborn. I was reborn at the age of 16, on the day my family moved into the Riverside villa. Dang Yang is the daughter of my father's good friend. Her biological parents died in a car accident, and with no one willing to adopt her. She lived in a local orphanage for several years before my father eventually found her. She had only been with our family for 3 months at that time. Despite her tragic background, she remained resilient and unyielding. Though she was alone and helpless, she was kind-hearted and lovable. No one could help but love her. In just 3 short months since she came to my home, because they couldn't bear to keep Dang Yang living in the attic, my parents actually bought a riverside villa just for her, and I was reborn at this very moment. My father's excited voice rang in my ears. "All right, kids, go pick your own rooms, except for mom and dad's master bedroom. You can choose any of the others." I remember now, on the day we moved into the new house, our parents let us each choose our own room. Dang Yang and I both had our eyes on the south-facing room on the 2nd floor. It not only had a luxurious bathtub but also floor-to-ceiling windows, with a sparkling river view right across from it. Thinking of this, I decisively walked up to the 2nd floor. "I want this room." After I said this to my dad, Dang Yang also came upstairs. Her expression instantly brightened. "Wow, this room is so beautiful. Mom, can I live here?" Dad was taken aback for a moment. I had already anticipated Dang Yang's reaction and said coolly, "Are you deaf?" I said I want this room. Hearing my blunt retort, Dang Yang immediately showed a flustered expression. "I'm sorry, sister, I really didn't hear you. If sister likes this room, then sister can have it. Actually, I can stay anywhere. Compared to the room in the orphanage, it's like heaven and earth. Mom and Dad, you've been so good to me. I'm really afraid I won't be able to repay you in the future." Here we go again with that sweet talk. It sounds so obviously fake, yet some people are moved to tears by it. Sinyan. "How about, you give this room to Yang and move downstairs instead?" Dad hesitated for a moment and said to me. Mom also chimed in from the side. "Yes, Sinyan, actually, the rooms upstairs and downstairs aren't that different. Yang is really pitiful. The exact same plot, the exact same words. It's just that unlike the shock and bewilderment I felt in my previous life, this time around, My heart is as calm as still water. Mom, Dad, you need to understand. I am your biological daughter. And the two of them exchanged a glance. Dad then added, Xinyan, I, as your mother, have decided to officially adopt Yang Yang. From today on, both of you are my dear daughters. Dang Yang Yang covered her mouth in disbelief, tears welling up in her eyes. Really, Mom and Dad, are you really willing to adopt me? Guizhou also looked both surprised and delighted. Are you going to adopt Yang Yang? Mom nodded with certainty, her eyes full of affection. Yang Yang, I'm really going to become your mom now. Dang Yang Yang threw herself into my mom's arms, tears streaming down her cheeks one by one. Woo woo, Mom, thank you, Dad. I really, really love you both so much. Ugh, I couldn't help but retch, because the sound was particularly noticeable. Everyone turned to look at me. Guizhou furrowed his brows tightly, looking particularly displeased. Gu Xinyan, what are you doing? I'm sorry. I apologized, waving my hand. I might be pregnant. As soon as the words were spoken, everyone's eyes widened in shock. Suddenly remembering that I was only 16 at this time, I slapped my forehead in frustration. Sorry, I meant I might have eaten something bad. My parents' expressions were a bit hard to describe. Dang Yang Yang's tears were halfway down her face when her emotions were suddenly disrupted by me, leaving her with a strange expression. Since you're going to adopt Dang Yang Yang, I'll move out. I don't want this room anymore. I'll make room for her. From now on, she'll be your biological daughter. We'll meet again someday. With that, I pushed my suitcase and started to leave. Gu Xinyan, Dad angrily stopped me. Don't be so willful. Who's being willful? I just don't want to be the cannon fodder supporting character anymore. Nor do I want to end up abandoned by everyone and dying a miserable death on the streets in this lifetime. Dad, I'm serious. If Deng Yang Yang stays, I go. If I stay, she goes. You and Mom can decide for yourselves. Xinyan, what has Yang Yang done to upset you? Why have you become so selfish? Mom also pulled a long face and scolded. With my strong support, Deng Yang Yang's emotions returned. Her eyes reddened, and tears streamed down like rain. Mom and Dad, please don't argue because of me. This sister, I'm not worth it. Enough, Gu Xinyan. Guizhou pulled Deng Yang Yang into his arms and shouted at me. Apologize to Yang Yang, right now. I know you're the boss. I rolled my eyes, as expected of the female lead in a group pet novel, with just a casual remark. My brother became her lackey. No wonder I was no match for her in my past life. In this lifetime, I'm done. So what if I'm just a cannon fodder supporting character? Can't I go on strike? Can't I just stay away from this family? Can't I go find my own springtime? If this place doesn't want me, there are plenty of others that will. Goodbye, brother. If you want to apologize, you can do it slowly on your own. I'm not sticking around for this. Perhaps seeing that I was serious, my father furrowed his brows and said, Gu Xinyan, you're still a minor. We have custody over you. Indeed, I am not an adult. If I were an adult, the first thing I would do is move my household registration out. I wouldn't want to waste time arguing with you, if you want me to stay. First, I do not agree to you adopting Deng Yang Yang. She can only stay with us temporarily. Second, this room must be mine. No negotiation. My father didn't speak, just quietly watched me. After a long while, he finally spoke calmly. We have made up our minds about adopting Yang Yang, and we won't change it. As for the room, Xinyan, you already have so much. Why must you compete with Yang Yang for it? Even though the outcome was within my expectations, my heart still ached uncontrollably. What do I have? I used to have loving biological parents and an older brother, but now they're gone, taken away by Deng Yang Yang. If I don't withdraw now, I'll end up with the same fate as in my previous life, watching helplessly as Deng Yang Yang wins over my parents, brother, and childhood friend. The day the beloved heroine of the group pampering novel achieves her happy ending is the day I'll be left dead on the streets. I sigh. Then there's nothing left to discuss. I'm sorry, Dad. But you are the one who abandoned me first. From now on, my life has nothing to do with you. My father finally lost his temper, his voice sharp and stern as he said, Gu Xinyan, can't you tell good advice from bad? If you walk out that door today, don't ever come back. Xinyan, hurry up and apologize to your father, or else I won't be able to help you either. Mom's face darkened as she glared at me, originally leaning weakly against Guizhou. Deng Yang Yang opened her hazy eyes and looked over upon hearing this, a triumphant smile flashing clearly in her gaze. She didn't even try to hide it. In my previous life, I often saw that kind of smile on her face. When I argued and threw a tantrum but still didn't win the room, she smiled at me just like that, so much so that I still remember the excitement and joy Dang Yang felt when she moved into this room. Sister, thank you for being so kind to me, woo woo, I really love it here. Although her mouth was thanking me, I clearly saw a hint of smugness in her eyes. It was the kind of joy and pride that comes after winning a battle. My parents took her and Guizhou on a trip but didn't bring me along. After they returned, Gu Yang gave me a smug, insincere smile. Sister, Mom and Dad didn't take you because they were afraid it would interfere with your English exam next week. You're not upset, are you? I am not the only one who has to take the exam. She, Guizhou, also has to take the exam. Just because only 4 plane tickets could be booked, my biological parents actually chose to take this adopted daughter on a trip instead of me. Afterward, I sadly asked my mother why she did this. Xinyan, haven't you already been to Beihai? Yang has never traveled before. Don't you think she's pitiful? There it is again, that same line. What does it matter to me whether Dang Yang is pitiful or not? It's not like I'm the one who made her an orphan. What about Guizhou? He's been there too. Mom was momentarily speechless and could only compromise by saying, otherwise, next time we go on a trip, Mom and Dad will make it up to you. Naively, I believed it. What kind of parents in the world would love an adopted daughter more than their own biological daughter? But the truth proved otherwise. There was, and it even led me to encounter it. My parents started frequently forgetting about me. And they took Guizhou and Dang Yang to watch a movie together, and I only found out when they came back in the evening. The family of 4 drove to the countryside for an outing, and I only heard them mention it a few weeks later. Dang Yang is becoming more and more fond of acting spoiled in front of her parents because it works very well. Today she said she wanted an iPad, and tomorrow her dad bought it for her. She mentioned wanting a certain bag in the morning, and by evening, her mother had given it to her as a gift. Her status in our parents' hearts has long surpassed mine, and her allowance is much larger than mine. Guizhou went even further, turning into a complete doting brother. Of course, the one being doted on is not me, and introduced Dang Yang to his classmates and friends. Every time he came back from playing basketball, he would bring a cup of pearl milk tea that the other person loved the most. Spent money to take Dang Yang to see her favorite idol's concert. Because Dang Yang didn't like cats, he even took my cat, which I had raised for several years, and threw it away without saying a word. I cried my heart out, and my dear brother just said nonchalantly, "What's so good about keeping that kind of beast? It almost scratched Yang's hand last time. It should have been thrown away long ago. In fact, my kitten has always been very well behaved, if others don't provoke it. It would never attack anyone." I'm growing more and more disgusted with Dang Yang, while the other family members are liking her more and more. In my previous life, I could never understand why things turned out that way. It wasn't until the moment before my death that I finally figured it out. It turned out that Dang Yang was the beloved heroine of a group favoritism story, while I was just the cannon fodder supporting character. My 15 years of smooth sailing were all just setting the stage for her arrival. In this life, I absolutely refuse to endure it any longer. At worst, it's just death. I want to see if she, the beloved heroine of this story, will still have a happy ending if I don't follow the plot. Apologizing is impossible. I will never apologize in this lifetime. Mom and Dad, take care of yourselves. Half a month later, I moved into the most prestigious luxury residential area in City A, the No. 1 mansion, in a place where the average housing price reaches 400,000 yuan per square meter. I truly understood what it means for land to be worth its weight in gold. A woman in an elegant white dress walked towards me with a smile. "Xinyan, godmother," I grinned, smiling brightly at her. "Did you bring all your luggage? That's all you have. Everything's here. I don't have much to begin with." "Alright, I'll have Ah-Si take you to the room on the 3rd floor. Thank you, godmother." Lu Isi, like me, is in the 3rd year of junior high school this year, but he's a head taller than me, at least 183 centimeters. He has the kind of handsome, chiseled features and graceful demeanor that could be described as sword-like eyebrows and starry eyes. He's the epitome of a wealthy young master, and the aura he exudes can be summed up in just 4 words: noble and aloof. On the other hand, brother Lu Ishuan has a more gentle and refined temperament, appearing more scholarly. Both brothers have incredibly stunning looks, the kind that can captivate people effortlessly. No wonder wealthy people often marry celebrities. At least the next generation's appearance is guaranteed. After all, Mrs. Liu, back in the day, stunned everyone with her breathtaking beauty and won the beauty pageant that year. The elevator arrived on the third floor, pushing open the door. Even though I was mentally prepared, I was still stunned by the sight before me. This room is so spacious that I could run inside. The luxurious crystal chandelier and the elegant, retro European-style bed. Through the glass, the entire city's night view can be taken in at a glance, truly worthy of being a mansion worth 800 million. I smiled gently at Lu Isi and said, "Thank you, second young master." The other party nodded slightly, perhaps feeling too aloof, and then softly replied, "You're welcome." After Lu Isi left, I walked to the floor-to-ceiling window. All around was quiet. In the distance, neon lights flicker and countless homes are illuminated, creating a breathtakingly beautiful scene. I never expected that our city could have such a serene and tranquil place. The scenery here is far superior to our riverside villa at home. I can't help but sigh. The lives of the wealthy are truly simple and unadorned. These past 2 days have been the final exam period. Earlier, I lied to my homeroom teacher, claiming I had broken my leg, and took a week off. Finishing the exams means my junior high school life has come to an end. As soon as I reached the school gate, I saw my dad's car. It seems he's here to drop off Dang Yang for her exam. She's in the same grade as me and transferred to this school half a year ago. What a great dad we have in our country, sis. What a coincidence. Dang Yang saw me and waved her little hand happily. My father's gaze fell upon me, and his originally gentle and loving expression instantly turned icy cold. I knew he was waiting for me to obediently bow my head and admit my mistake, then deeply repent for my actions from the previous days, preferably even shedding tears and begging for his forgiveness. As my steps drew closer and closer, "Hello, Uncle Gu." As soon as the words fell, the person opposite turned pale with anger, their eyes suddenly blazing with fury. "Gu Xinyan, what kind of attitude is that?" I shrugged. "It seems I shouldn't have greeted you. Next time we meet, we'll just act like strangers, right?" My father stared at me with blazing eyes, looking utterly disappointed in me. "Gu Xinyan, if you don't move back home within 3 days, don't ever come back." "All right, Uncle Gu." With that, I walked away without looking back. I finished my lunch and returned to the classroom. Dang Yang was inviting the whole class to her birthday party. The classmates took the invitations, each showing an expression of great admiration. "Wow, Dang Yang, your family actually lives in Xingshi Jiangnan. Isn't the housing there very expensive?" "Not just expensive. My dad says it's all villa area there, and a single house costs at least 20 million. Dang Yang, your house isn't a villa, is it?" Dang Yang covered her mouth and smiled charmingly. "My house does have 2 floors, and it faces the river view. Wow, I want to go. I've lived this long and still don't know what a riverside villa looks like. I want to go too. For a moment, the classroom became incredibly lively. After a while, Dang Yang walked over to me with the invitation in hand, a look of pride and satisfaction on her face. "Will you come to my birthday party, sister?" I met her smug expression and took it without thinking. "Sure." The other party's smile froze. I was clutching the invitation in my hand, unwilling to let go. I knew all along that Dang Yang just wanted to go through the motions with me, to show off, and to add a little more frustration to my life. She had no intention of actually wanting me to attend her birthday party. "I'll just casually greet my parents then, and her identity as an adopted daughter will be exposed." "She would never do such a thing," I said sarcastically. "Didn't you want me to attend your birthday party? Then let go of me." Dang Yang forced a smile. "Sister, if you're busy, you don't have to go." "Who said I'm busy? I have plenty of time." Her hand still didn't let go, and she put on a deliberately troubled expression. "I'm just worried that if you suddenly show up at home, it might upset Mom and Dad again, and they've finally been in a better mood these past couple of days." I gave her a cold smile. "Are you overstepping your bounds? They are my biological parents." Dang Yang stared at me intently, the insincere smile on my face completely vanishing. She couldn't even bother pretending anymore. "You probably don't know yet, but Mom and Dad have already decided to send me to Hanlin Academy for high school. Since you've voluntarily given up on this family, you should just stay far away. Why come back just to humiliate yourself?" I wasn't the least bit surprised by her words. In my previous life, Dang Yang had also attended Hanlin High School. This prestigious high school was nationally renowned for its expensive tuition and strong faculty. Tuition for one term is 300,000 and 600,000 for a year. Guizhou is in the same grade as us and also attends Hanlin High School, and the two of them have to pay 1.2 million in tuition alone each year. Why do I say, the two of them? Because I'm not there. I attended a very ordinary high school because I had good grades, while Deng Yangyang had poor grades. Xinyan, with your good grades, it doesn't matter where you study. Yangyang is different. If she doesn't work hard during these 3 years, she won't even be able to get into college in the future. I heard that Hanlin High School hires only top-tier teachers. Mom and Dad have decided to transfer Yangyang to that school. These were the words my own mother said to me in my previous life. It's also something my own father did to me. I cried and protested, even went on a hunger strike, but none of it changed their minds. In the end, they firmly enrolled Deng Yangyang in Hanlin Academy. No one would believe it if I told them, sending the adopted daughter to a prestigious high school with a tuition of 600,000, while the biological daughter goes to an ordinary high school with a tuition of 10,000. The key is, no one in the family saw anything wrong with it. Listening to Guizhou and Deng Yangyang discuss all the interesting happenings at the aristocratic school every night at the dinner table was more painful than making me carry out an execution. Later, I simply chose to board at the school and never went home again. End of recollection. I was just about to mock Deng Yangyang when a familiar voice suddenly came through. Yangyang. A flicker of emotion passed through Deng Yangyang's eyes, and a strange look flashed across her gaze as she looked at me. The next second, she fell backward. Jiang Chen's urgent voice came through. Gu Xinyan, what have you done? It has to be said, that little bitch Deng Yangyang really has some tricks up her sleeve. She got the better of me again. After being helped up by Jiang Chen, Deng Yangyang's eyes turned red. Wiping away her tears, she cried out in grievance, Brother Jiang Chen, I just wanted to invite my sister to my birthday party and take the opportunity to help her clear up the misunderstanding with our parents, so she could move back home, but my sister pushed me to the ground without saying a word. Jiang Chen glared at me fiercely, his tone filled with disdain. Gu Xinyan, are you out of your mind, looking at this childhood friend who, not long ago, was inseparable from me and shared everything with me? Now he seems to despise me so much that he can't even bear to look at me. I suppressed my emotions, my gaze turning cold. Yeah, do you have a problem with that? He was momentarily speechless, then, in a fit of anger, snapped back, I'm warning you, don't mess with Yangyang at school. She's not someone you can push around. Which of your eyes saw me bullying her? I saw it with both of my eyes. Brother Jiang Chen, let it go. Deng Yangyang held back the furious man, biting her lip lightly while speaking pitifully. My sister is probably still upset about the time I gave you the love letter she wrote. I'm sorry, sis, I really didn't mean to. I just wanted to help you out, thinking that since you like Brother Jiang Chen, he should know about it. Upon hearing this, a flicker of realization flashed in Jiang Chen's eyes, and his tone grew even more disdainful. Gu Xinyan, there's no chance for us. The person I like is Yangyang. Please stop being so self-absorbed. Whispers continued to rise around them. Someone looked at me with a gleeful expression. What's going on? Did Gu Xinyan confess to Jiang Chen? It seems she was rejected too. What kind of plot is this? Childhood friend loses to the new arrival. TSK. I actually got to witness a love triangle showdown today. I look at Deng Yangyang. Her expression is as innocent and naive as a fawn, yet her eyes are filled with pride and provocation. In the second month of her stay at my house, she took a love letter from my room and handed it to Jiang Chen. It was a letter I had written at the beginning of the year to confess my feelings to Jiang Chen, but for various reasons, I never gave it to him. As it turned out, Deng Yangyang sent it out without my consent at all, and afterward, she even used the stupid slogan of, if you like someone, you should shout it to the whole world. I think she probably really took me for a fool. So you're the beloved heroine of the story, huh? Fine, let's see who comes out on top next. The 2-month summer vacation passed quickly, and the first day of school arrived. At the entrance of Hanlin High School, luxury cars were gathered everywhere, all there to drop off students for the start of the school year. Uncle Wang respectfully opened the car door for Lu Yixi and then started to walk over. No need, Uncle Wang. I can do it myself. I smiled at the other person and stepped out of the Bentley, walking over to Lu Yixi. I deliberately took his arm, meeting his slightly stunned gaze. I raised an eyebrow. Second brother, why are you looking at me like that? In just 2 short seconds, Lu Yixie's handsome face returned to its calm composure, allowing me to hold onto his arm. Nothing. Many freshmen around us turned to look at the two of us, whispering and discussing. Oh my god, who is this guy? He's exactly my type. Hurry, hurry. Hurry, 3 minutes, I want all the information about him. Who is the girl next to him? Could it be his girlfriend? Oh no, I think I'm about to have a heartbreak. It should be his sister, right? Didn't she call him second brother? Lu Yixie's identity is too conspicuous. On the first day of school, he was thoroughly exposed by others. As a result, I also became the talk of the town, just after the first class ended. My deskmate Zhou Shui couldn't contain her burning curiosity and eagerly asked me for confirmation. Xinyan, are you and Lu Yixie biological siblings? No, I was adopted. I shook my head and answered honestly. The other person instantly became excited. Wow, what kind of naturally lucky fish life is this? You actually got adopted by our school board chairman's wife. Does their family still need more children? I want to be adopted too. I found it a bit amusing. Alright. I'll go back and ask my mom tonight. If the school board chairman's wife doesn't need more children, then help me ask your second brother if he needs a girlfriend. I can pull off any style. Elegant lady, cute Lolita, girl next door, no problem at all. Stars kept twinkling in Zhou Shui's eyes. No problem. And also, if your second brother doesn't like my type, could you ask your third brother for me? I've had a crush on him for a really, really long time, since my past life, please. Give me a chance to be your sister-in-law, miss. Aren't you being a bit too greedy? Before I knew it, it was already noon. Almost all the girls in the class had become familiar with me, and several of them asked if they could have lunch with me. I never realized before that making friends could be so easy. Even though I hadn't done anything, they had already treated me as a central figure. During the meal, the seats to my left and right, as well as the one directly across from me, were all occupied. It was clear that these girls all came from wealthy families. Any one of the watches on their wrists could easily cover a semester's tuition at Hanlin Academy. Even Zhou Shui, who was chattering away about wanting to be adopted by Mrs. Lu, turned out to be the daughter of the chairman of Yang Group, a company with a market value exceeding 10 billion, and she was the only child in her family, at the moment. This Miss Zhou is trying every possible way to find out about Lu Yixie and from me. Gu Xinyan, a sudden and unexpected voice rang in my ear. I looked up and met the confused face of Deng Yangyang. She, a short-haired girl, was walking side by side with someone, holding a meal in her hand, probably looking for a seat. Hey, what a coincidence. I casually greeted her, then immediately continued the previous topic with Zhou Shui beside me. Deng Yangyang didn't leave, looking at me with a strange expression. She seemed a bit confused, her brows slightly furrowed. What are you doing here? Her question was rather amusing. I had to look up again to answer her question. Of course I'm eating. What else would I be doing? Deng Yangyang let out a scornful laugh, her tone dripping with contempt. Don't tell me you go to school here too. The sarcasm in her words was too obvious, and some people looked at her strangely. Who are you? Zhou Shui's expression turned displeased. Deng Yangyang straightened up. And who are you? Who I am is none of your business. Where are your manners? Can't you see we're talking? You, Deng Yangyang was about to retort when she was pulled back by the short-haired girl beside her, who subtly shook her head at her. I'm sorry, Miss Zhou, we didn't mean to disturb you. The short-haired girl seemed quite wary of Zhou Shui. After apologizing sincerely, she quickly pulled Deng Yangyang away. The two of them sat down at a faraway spot. Deng Yangyang's eyes were deep and dark, her gaze occasionally falling on me. After school, I waited for Lu Yixie in the hallway on the second floor. Deng Yangyang seemed to have been lying in wait here, pulling me into the stairwell. Gu Xinyan, what on earth is going on? I turned off my phone and replied lazily. What? She looked utterly incredulous and bewildered. Since when did you become the daughter of the school board chairman? What does that have to do with you? I couldn't be bothered to deal with her and turned to leave, but she pulled me back. A cold smile curled at the corner of Deng Yangyang's lips. Don't you want to see what kind of expressions mom and dad will have when they find out you've become the daughter of our school's board chairman? Who cares what expressions they have? I've long since cut ties with your family. I shrugged leisurely and added, I learned this trick from you. Other people's parents are just better. Deng Yangyang was taken aback by my retort, and a sharp glint flashed in her eyes. I didn't linger any longer, waved to her, and left with a carefree air. When I, Lu Yixie, walked out of the school gate, Uncle Wang's car was already parked by the roadside. Miss Sinyan, your milk tea." Before opening the door for me, Uncle Wang took a cup of still warm milk tea from the car's cup holder. "I just mentioned in the morning that the milk tea from the new shop at the intersection is really good, but I never expected the other person to actually keep it in mind. Thank you, Uncle Wang." I said sweetly, "You're welcome." I thought of something and turned to ask, "Louise, do you want to try it? It's really delicious." Louise, who was inexplicably singled out, looked at the milk tea in my hand with a face full of resistance. "No, just give it a try." The other person firmly shook their head. "All right, if you don't want it, that's fine." As the car passed the next intersection, I felt a bit stuffy and casually rolled down the window. Just as I turned my head, I saw Deng Yangyang and Guizhou standing under the bus stop sign. The two were waiting for the bus. My dad, no, Gu Hongbin hadn't earned much in the past 2 years, but the family had just bought a new house, and Deng Yangyang and Guizhou's tuition fees for the year were quite high, mortgage payments plus tuition fees. The burden on my shoulders is no small matter. It seems there's absolutely no extra money to hire a driver. So I can only let my 2 children endure the inconvenience of taking the bus. When Deng Yangyang saw me in the car, her expression changed slightly, her eyes burning with intensity, and her hands clenched into fists. Guizhou, on the other hand, was utterly astonished, as if he couldn't believe his eyes, and called out my name, "Gu Sinyan." What a stroke of bad luck. I rolled my eyes at the two of them and closed the car window without hesitation. The traffic light turned green, and the car sped away. Wednesday, the last 2 periods in the afternoon are for club activities. The club I joined is the anime club, which I was practically dragged into by Zhou Shui. Anyway, I'm just there to make up the numbers, so it doesn't really matter. The president of the anime club is a senior in high school who wears glasses. She mentioned that she will be preparing for the college entrance exam over the next year, so she might be very busy. Therefore, she needs to recruit an assistant to help handle some daily tasks. "Does anyone volunteer to sign up?" After a round of inquiries, a clear voice came from the corner. "I'm willing to." I followed the sound and looked over. It was actually Deng Yangyang. Of course, she's always been the type to take on such tasks. It's a chance to show off and exercise some privileges. "Okay, you're the one," the club president declared, making the final decision, after all the members had gathered. The club president once again explained to Shurjia that at the beginning of each new semester, the Hanlin College Anime Club would hold a cosplay party, and this time was no exception. "Today, I've called everyone together to discuss where we should hold this cosplay event." The room immediately became lively. Someone suggested renting a hotel. Someone also suggested renting a cruise ship. "President, why not come to my house instead?" Deng Yangyang started her show-off antics again. Ever since her family moved into their new house, she seemed to really enjoy showing off that riverside villa. For example, in the past, and for example, now, I secretly mocked Deng Yangyang in my heart. After all, she is the protagonist of a group pet story, yet her vision is even shallower than a children's swimming pool. It seems she hasn't yet realized how vast the gap is between her and these classmates. The president, upon hearing her suggestion, agreed without much consideration. After all, renting a venue outside would cost money, so why not take advantage of a free space if someone is offering it? Since the cosplay party venue was set at the Gu family's place, I naturally had no intention of going. As a result, during the second club activity of the anime club, I heard the collective complaints from the members. "Oh my god, their house isn't even as big as my garage. How did they have the nerve to invite us in the first place?" "Exactly, and they don't even have a single servant. You have to run all over the place just to get something to eat." Don't even get me started. Not only are there no servants, but they don't even have a driver. That night, my dad's car got into an accident, and our driver had to go give a statement. I wanted to ask Deng Yangyang's family driver to take me home, but she actually told me they don't have a driver. Can you imagine? I had to order a ride online myself, wearing a full bunny girl outfit. So embarrassing. It's really so boring. I wasted the outfit I had custom made in Korea for nothing. I left after less than 3 minutes. After a few girls finished complaining, they walked out of the restroom with loud grumbles. I turned on the faucet and saw the innermost stall being pushed open. Deng Yangyang's face was as dark as charcoal, filled with humiliation and indignation. As she walked out stiffly, their eyes met. Her expression grew even more unpleasant. I calmly finished washing my hands and was about to leave. "Gu Sinyan." She stopped me abruptly. I stood still, looking at her coldly. Deng Yangyang stiffened her neck. her expression full of disdain. Even if I'm doing poorly, I'm still 10,000 times better than you. I have a mother who cares for me, a father who loves me, and a brother who dotes on me. What are you? Anyway, I understood that she had just been provoked and was in a bad mood, but who gave her the nerve to vent her anger on me? What kind of person are you anyway? Only you would treasure such poor, worthless parents, who doesn't have a brother, someone like Guizhou. Even if he licked Lu Isi's shoes, he'd be considered too rough-tongued. You haven't even met my brother, Lu Ishuan. Compared to him, Guizhou isn't even as good as a maggot in a latrine. Dang Yangyang's face twisted with hatred. Her resentment no longer concealed, as she glared at me with eyes wide in fury. I actually quite enjoy the way she looks right now. One should have self-awareness. If you don't belong to a certain social class, don't force your way in. Our Hanlin Academy also has its own hierarchy. You should have some idea of which level you belong to, shouldn't you? Deng Yangyang was clearly infuriated by these words and immediately tried to slap me, but I grabbed her wrist. You'd better think carefully about whether you can afford to provoke me right now. The other person bit their lip tightly, not moving. I sneered at her with a cold snort. Perhaps due to receiving too many complaints, the club president had to announce that the anime club's cosplay party would be held again this year. Everyone, please speak up. This might also be the last time I attend a cosplay party at Hanlin High School. Like all of you, I hope it can be held in a grand and spectacular manner. The club members cheered again and began offering suggestions one after another. If any club member is willing to provide a venue for the family, that would be great, but it's best if the location is a bit more private. It seems our club president has fully learned from the last lesson. Upon hearing this, Zhou Shui looked at me with a face full of excitement. Xinyan, why don't you talk to the school board president's wife and let us have the party at your house? If I can't be your sister-in-law or second sister-in-law in this lifetime, I just want to set foot on the sacred land of No. One mansion before I die. Can you fulfill this wish for me? Looking at her playful expression, I found it a bit amusing. After thinking for a moment, I still nodded. All right, I'll talk to my mom about it. At that moment, she was left speechless. Are you serious? Yeah, my family is pretty well off, so we should be able to meet the conditions the president mentioned. Zhou Shui was so excited she couldn't stop shouting. Damn, that's the No. One mansion. Of course it is. There's not a single house there under 2,000 square meters. After hearing Zhou Shui's words, the club president was overjoyed. Really, Xinyan, are you really willing to let us have the party at your house? I need to talk to my mom first, but it shouldn't be a problem. For a moment, the screams almost lifted the roof. The family cheered and eagerly discussed what to wear that day. Xinyan, which character does your brother like? Hurry, tell me. Zhou Shui couldn't wait to shake my arm, and I like Princess Elsa. I blurted out. Really, someone with sharp ears quickly leaned in. What about your second brother? And I like Anna. Everyone sighed. At that moment, I hadn't realized that these two irresponsible remarks were like 2 shots of adrenaline injected into the girl's arms. Mrs. Lu readily agreed to my request and even enthusiastically asked which character I wanted to cosplay. I really hadn't thought about that yet. What about your classmates? Speaking of this, I'm not sure, but there should be Princess Elsa and Princess Anna, Disney princesses. Okay, I understand. I'll have someone prepare an evening gown for you, guaranteed to amaze everyone. Mrs. Lu patted my shoulder, full of confidence. Thank you, ma'am. Out of caution, I added one more sentence. But it's best not to go too over the top. I'm afraid I might not be able to pull it off. No problem. So can I cosplay as the evil queen? The other person's playful spirit was ignited. It's true that no matter how old a woman is, she still has a heart of a young girl. I laughed and said, of course you can. The other party began to enthusiastically discuss my role. What do you think of Princess Aurora? A true love's kiss from the prince can wake her up. How romantic. I'll even arrange an incredibly handsome prince for you. Actually, Cinderella isn't bad either. Thank you, Mrs. Lu, I said sincerely. Silly child. She patted my forehead. I should be the one thanking you. On the night of the party, the entire Lu residence nearly turned into the premiere scene of the movie, Frozen. Princess Elsa and Princess Anna were everywhere. When I saw Zhou Shui make a grand entrance in a one-to-one replica of Princess Elsa's look, I couldn't hold it in anymore. Oh my god, Xinyan, you look absolutely stunning today. So which princess are you dressed as? It seems to be Sleeping Beauty. Wow, this dress is so beautiful, it's practically blinding me, and for some reason, it feels so familiar. Don't mention her. I don't even dare to look in the mirror myself, although I repeatedly reminded Mrs. Lu not to make the dress too extravagant. It seems she didn't quite listen. This dress was purchased by Mrs. Lu from a collector abroad a few days ago and was urgently airshipped over. It once even made an appearance in a fairy tale film. Thank you, you look beautiful too. Are you, brother Lu Yixuan, at home today? Zhou Shui never misses a chance to flirt with her crush. He said he would be back today, so he should be home soon. I chatted with Zhou Shui for a bit. People kept coming over to greet me, and all the girls were dressed to the nines. At first glance, I thought I had stepped into a fairy tale world. Not long after, I spotted Deng Yangyang. She was wearing a dark green long dress, with a simple hairband tied around her head. I had no idea who she was cosplaying. However, the dress looked rather plain and cheap, likely purchased online, compared to the exquisitely designed, bright, and gorgeous dresses around her. It instantly lost any sense of comparability. Who is she playing? Cinderella. It should be Cinderella before her transformation, tending the fire in the kitchen. Someone openly mocked. Deng Yangyang tried to ignore the stares of others and walked onto the stage with feigned composure. When her gaze fell upon me, she was momentarily stunned. Her eyes lingered on my dress for a full half-minute. A thing called jealousy fiercely took over Deng Yangyang's face, twisting her beautiful features almost out of shape. I calmly observed her reaction. Xinyan, a clear and crisp voice sounded from the other side. I followed the sound and saw a face as gentle and beautiful as jade come into view. It was Lu Yixuan. It's my brother. I quickly walked over and gave him a bright smile. Lu Yixuan looked me over slightly. Princess Aurora. And you actually know the character I'm cosplaying today, Alright, I'm late. I was amused by your words. This princess forgives you. Would you do me the honor of a dance later? That depends on whether you have sincerity. Lu Yixuan's eyes slightly lifted at the corners, his peach blossom eyes deep as a pool, a gentle smile playing at his lips. Fortunately, I came prepared with a gift today. With that, he produced a dazzling pearl necklace out of nowhere. I was genuinely surprised. It's not for me, is it? Yes. It took me quite some effort to find it. Lu Yixuan helped me put it on. A cool sensation touched me, and a strange feeling welled up from the depths of my heart, but I quickly suppressed it again. Thank you, brother Sure. By the way, how is Chairman Lu, Dad doing? Hearing me correct myself so quickly, Lu Yixuan pursed his lips into a light smile and then nodded. The recovery is going very well. I can already walk. And the doctor says I'll be fully recovered by next month, so you'll be going back to school soon. By the end of this month, Lu Yixuan is in his third year of high school. A while ago, his father, Chairman Lu, had an accident, and he accompanied him abroad for surgery, which delayed the start of the school year. Hearing that Chairman Lu is fine, I can finally rest easy. Thank you, Yan, you saved our family. Lu Yixuan suddenly embraced me and sincerely whispered in my ear. I hugged him back and said, "You're welcome, it's what I should do." Throughout the entire party, Deng Yangyang's gaze followed me like a shadow. Even when I took the elevator up to the third-floor room, she followed me. Gu Xinyan, you've awakened to the plot, haven't you? I looked up, my expression displeased. What are you talking about? Deng Yangyang stared at me intently, trying to find some clues on my face. Don't deny it, otherwise things wouldn't have turned out this way. She's not stupid, of course. I wouldn't admit it. Are you crazy? She stared at me intently, her gaze carrying a shadowy scrutiny. How did you get to know Lu Yixuan and his family? What does it have to do with you? Get out. I need to change clothes now. The other person instinctively glanced around. Is this your room? Otherwise, is it yours? Deng Yangyang clenched her fists tightly, her eyes filled with intense jealousy and hatred. It's not hard to understand. Just the area of my room alone can easily surpass the total area of the first floor of their family's villa, especially since this is the prestigious No. 1 mansion, where every inch of land is worth its weight in gold. As the beloved heroine of a group adoration novel, she absolutely cannot accept the plot where a cannon fodder female supporting character turns her life around and completely overshadows her. The leading lady, you don't have to say it, I can guess, you saved Lu Yixuan's father. Right, you really have a way, actually changing the fate of the wealthiest family in our city. If it weren't for the plot awakening, can you tell me what other reason could explain it? A cannon fodder female supporting character, not following the plot properly is one thing, but she actually dabbles in unorthodox methods. Gu Xinyan, if I could snatch it from you once, I can do it a second time. Deng Yangyang made no attempt to hide her hatred for me, her expression fierce and sharp. Blatantly provoking me, I lazily glanced at her and chuckled softly. What, already tired of your good father and good mother so soon? I thought you had some genuine feelings for them. TSK, they must be heartbroken to hear you say that. Your official match is Jiang Chen, and the doting brother Guizhou is the important third male lead in this book, according to the setting. You and Jiang Chen will get married right after graduation, living a loving life together, raising children. Are you sure you want to jump out of the warm and comfortable easy mode, forcibly altering the plot? Aren't you afraid of facing eternal damnation? Deng Yangyang remained motionless, her eyes like X-rays, as if trying to pierce right through me. You've truly awakened, indeed. So what? Her tone was icy, her gaze intense. You're just a cannon fodder, still dreaming of changing the outcome. Where there's a will, there's a way. I've altered the plot, and I'm still alive and well. I won't let you have your way. Who do you think you are? Deng Yangyang suddenly flew into a rage. Because I'm the female lead, this world must revolve around me. The mockery on my face must have been quite obvious, otherwise Deng Yangyang's expression wouldn't have looked so unpleasant. Are you done? If you're finished, get out. I need to change. I changed into a more vibrant and stunning green court gown and walked downstairs. After the melodious sound of the piano began, I danced with Lu Yixuan. I enjoyed the attention of the entire room with a clear conscience, and all the girls present looked at me with envy. As the song ended, Zhou Shui walked over to me, her tone tinged with emotion and a hint of sourness. Actually, you and Lu Yixuan are quite a good match. What are you talking about? I'm the older one here. We're not blood related, and besides, the way you look at me doesn't feel like you're looking at a sister at all. I really don't want to discuss this topic. Being so flamboyant tonight really isn't my style. It's all out of necessity. After Lu Yixuan finished dancing, I saw Deng Yangyang leave alone. Now it's time to witness the results. Not long after, I received a call from my father, Gu Hongbin. He insisted that I must go back home that evening. This is the first time in months that he has taken the initiative to contact me. At 7 in the evening, Uncle Wang drove me to the entrance of my home. Miss Xinyan, would you like me to accompany you upstairs? I shook my head. No need, Uncle Wang. Just wait here for me for a moment. Okay. My dad glanced at Uncle Wang's car, his expression somewhat complicated. Under the watchful eyes of Guizhou and Deng Yangyang, I calmly walked into the living room. What's the matter that you called me back in such a hurry? My mom walked up to me, offering a concerned smile. Nothing much, Xinyan. It's been so long since we last saw you. Your mom and dad have been missing you a bit and wanted to invite you back for a meal together. Where have you been all this time? Have you been doing well? After her biological daughter had been missing for over 3 months, she finally remembered to ask this question. I glanced at the dining table nearby. It was indeed quite lavish. I nodded casually. That's fine. I won't stay for dinner. I have English homework to do today, so if there's nothing else, I'll be heading off now. My mother was taken aback, clearly not expecting me to refuse so directly. You've really become something, haven't you? What, do I need to invite you 3 or 4 times just to have a meal with you? My father spoke with a mocking tone, his expression full of disdain. Say whatever you want. I really don't have time. I'm leaving. Sit the hell down, my dad suddenly roared. As if emotions that had been building up for a long time suddenly erupted, I knew, and I was holding back a breath of anger in my heart. And that chauvinistic temper of his isn't something that just appeared overnight. It's usually fine, but once someone goes against his wishes, he flies into a rage. Over the past few months, he must have been waiting for me to have a miserable time outside, unable to bear it any longer, and eventually come home to kneel before him and repent for 3 days and 3 nights. Unfortunately, I'm not just doing well, I'm doing quite well, and I've even found new parents. I imagine they must be seething with rage inside. I finally took my seat at the dining table. It wasn't that I was afraid of my father, I mainly wanted to see what they were up to. I heard you're living at one mansion now. How did you get involved with the Lu Zhenan family? Chairman Lu went out hiking and fell off a cliff, and I saved him. My dad snorted coldly. So you've recognized them as your parents. Back then, I had nowhere to go, and they thought I was an orphan, so they adopted me. Is there a problem? Slap. The other person slammed their chopsticks heavily on the table. Guizhou looked at me with a sarcastic expression. Gu Xinyan, aren't you slapping our parents in the face? You've really gone to great lengths to climb the social ladder. I'm happy with it. What's it to you? Dang Yang opened her innocent, deer-like eyes and said softly, brother, don't say that about sister. I believe she must have her own reasons. I nodded, I do have my reasons. And your house is too big, your two sons are too handsome, Mrs. Lu is too beautiful and too kind. I've always wanted a mother like that, and because I genuinely wanted to become part of your family, that's why I agreed. The faces of the people opposite me darkened simultaneously. My mother looked at me with a somewhat hurt expression. Sinyan, Mom, I'm sorry, just like you said, the moment you saw Dang Yang, you really liked her and hoped she could be your daughter. The moment I saw Mrs. Lu, I also liked her very, very much. You don't know how beautiful and elegant she is. I really wish I could have a mother like her, so you can understand me, right? My mother didn't say anything more, and there was only silence between us. Enough, Gu Sinyan. Did you come back on purpose to upset Mom and Dad? Guizhou could no longer hold back and lashed out at me angrily. Of course not, I'm just telling the truth. It's like, when I have brothers like Lu Yixi and Lu Yixuan, who are adored by the entire school, who would still remember you, my own brother. Upon hearing my words, Guizhou's face turned ashen, his lips pressed tightly together, unable to utter a single word. Seeing everyone fall silent, I put down my chopsticks. I'm sorry. It seems I've ruined this meal. I think I should leave early. Sinyan, Mom finally called out to me. What? She hesitated for a moment, then said, I'm sorry, Mom really did neglect you before. I apologize. Can you forgive me? Of course. I smiled without emotion. The other person breathed a sigh of relief. You've been staying at Chairman Lu's house for so long. You must have caused them a lot of trouble. Mom and Dad would like to visit them in person. When do you think we could arrange a time? No need. My father, Chairman Lu, is currently abroad and hasn't returned yet. As for Mrs. Lu, she is usually very busy with work, so she doesn't have much time to meet guests. You haven't even asked. How do you know they don't have time? Because I simply don't want to arrange an appointment for you. My mother frowned, her tone displeased. Why is that, Mom? Whether you just want to visit or have other intentions, it's easy for others to tell. The other party paused slightly. What are you talking about, child? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Gu Sinyan, we raised you to be like this, and this is how you repay us. My father's expression turned icy as he finally spoke again. I rubbed my forehead and sneered. You are my biological parents, and you want credit for raising me until I graduated from junior high. Don't worry. I'll calculate all the expenses over the years and pay you back, once I turn 18. I'll move my household registration out, and we won't need to have any further contact. Fine, just fine, you ungrateful daughter. Get out of here. Get out right now. All right, I won't disturb everyone anymore. Goodbye. I quickly got up, afraid that the other party might change their mind. I thought I had made my position clear enough, but obviously, others didn't take it seriously. Early Saturday morning, the housekeeper Lin said someone was looking for me outside. When that person came up, it turned out to be Dang Yang, sister. She was carrying something like a lunchbox, walking toward me with a face full of joy. Mom made braised beef in soy sauce, which used to be your favorite. She specifically asked me to bring a box for you. Here you go. Dang Yang looked at me, her eyes curved like crescent moons, sparkling with laughter, her face full of innocence. It's hard to hail a taxi or find a bus near the No.1 mansion, so she must have walked here. With sweat beading on her forehead, anyone who didn't know better would think she and I were on the best of terms. She specifically came early on a weekend morning, walking all the way just to bring me a box of braised beef. No need, you can take it back. I can't accept a reward for doing nothing. Besides, I'm afraid she might poison me. Sister, are you still angry with me? As long as you can forgive me, I'll do anything. I can move out of the house right away. Mom and Dad really miss you. Just come back with me. Dang Yang's ability to lie with her eyes wide open is truly impressive. Who she's putting on this pitiful act for remains unknown. Whether you move out or not has nothing to do with me. Don't use that as an excuse to come find me. Take your lunchbox and go back. Dang Yang became even more aggrieved, and tears came as soon as she spoke. Sister, I truly hope you can forgive me. I'm willing to do anything. I glanced at her indifferently and was about to speak. Just then, Lu Yixuan, dressed in a white t-shirt and black pants, came downstairs. Seeing the situation between me and Deng Yang, he paused slightly. Lu, Senior, Dang Yang turned her head, feigning surprise, and called out cautiously. Lu Yixuan's refined brows lifted slightly. His tone puzzled. And you are? Dang Yang instinctively glanced at me, lightly bit her lip, and timidly added, Senior Lu, my name is Dang Yang, I'm a freshman at Hanlin Academy, and also, Gu Xinyan's sister. Lu Yixuan nodded in sudden understanding and politely greeted the other person. Hello, senior. Dang Yang's voice was soft and melodious, perfectly complementing her sweet and charming appearance, which was indeed quite pleasing to the eye. What are you two doing standing here so early in the morning? Have a seat, Miss Dang. Dang Yang hesitated symbolically for 2 or 3 seconds before finally agreeing. Thank you, senior. As it turned out, Dang Yang, the beloved female lead of the group, still had something special about her. In just one morning, she and Lu Yixuan seemed to have already gotten to know each other. The next day, Sunday, Dang Yang once again arrived at the Lu family's home using the same method. Continuing with the same rhetoric as the day before, Sister, can you really not come back with me? The key was that while she spoke, she kept glancing at the movements upstairs. Sima Zhao's heart is known to all. Everyone can see through his intentions. I've come to realize that the most important trait for a female lead in a group pet novel is to have a thick skin. She was lucky, she actually managed to run into Lu Yixuan not long after. Today's gains were even greater. The two even exchanged WeChat contacts. As she left, I noticed Dang Yang's raised lips couldn't be suppressed, and the look she gave me returned to its former coldness, filled with full-on provocation. Not long after, I ran into Jiang Chen at school, looking utterly dejected. Unlike his usual confident self, he was now pulling on Dang Yang with a pitiful expression. Why haven't you been answering my calls these past few days? Too busy, Yang. Did something happen? Nothing happened. Jiang Chen, stop bothering me. Dang Yang's face was full of impatience, her tone thick with disdain. This was in stark contrast to Jiang Chen, who was currently at his lowest point. I always thought Dang Yang had a bit of a crush on Jiang Chen. After all, he was quite handsome, and back when I was in school, many girls secretly had a thing for him. His family background was also quite good. Jiang's parents ran a clothing factory, bringing in a solid few million a year. In my previous life, not long after Dang Yang came to my house, she managed to win Jiang Chen over. The two of them were inseparable, like glue and fire, and after graduation, they walked down the aisle with everyone's blessings. The young couple couldn't have been happier. I never expected that a random move by me, a cannon fodder female character, would actually change the fate of the male lead. Jiang Chen. Dang Yang must have looked down on him. She is now focusing all her efforts on winning over Lu Yixuan. Although Jiang Chen's family has a bit of money, compared to old money families like the Lu family, he is instantly reduced to nothing. Even in terms of looks, Jiang Chen couldn't compete. How handsome is Lu Yixuan? To put it this way, borrowing a phrase from Zhou Shui, Lu Yixuan is so handsome that every strand of his hair looks like it has 800 girlfriends. It can only be blamed on the fact that this isn't some domineering CEO story, but just a sweet campus romance. The male lead, Jiang Chen, is not portrayed as an outrageously handsome, powerful, and domineering man. Instead, he is simply a gentle, loving, and warm-hearted handsome guy from a relatively well-off family. If it were still like the previous life, where I, the cannon fodder girl, was madly in love with Jiang Chen, neither knowing someone as ethereal as Lu Yixuan nor living in a top-tier wealthy area like No. 1 mansion, Dang Yang's feelings for Jiang Chen would surely be just as perfect as in the previous life. It's just a pity that Dang Yang is destined to be restless, watching me, the cannon fodder girl, rise to a higher position and live a more comfortable life than her would be even more unbearable than killing her. After school on Friday evening, I spent some time strolling along the pedestrian street this week. Upon returning home, I was startled to find Dang Yang sitting on the sofa in the Lu family's living room, with butler Lin holding a first aid kit in his hand. Lu Yixuan stood tall and elegant nearby. I furrowed my brows and asked, "What's going on?" They turned their heads. I saw Dang Yang with one pant leg rolled up high, blood streaming down her knee. Butler Lin was holding a first aid kit, seemingly ready to help clean her wound. Sister, Dang Yang was somewhat at a loss. I was speechless. This same old act again. Doesn't she ever get tired of it? What on earth is going on? After Lu Yixuan's explanation, I finally understood the whole story. Dang Yang came to No. one mansion to find me and happened to run into Lu Yixuan, who was out for a jog. The two of them saw a kitten tangled in the wire mesh by the flower bed. Deng Yangyang volunteered to rescue the kitten, but ended up getting scratched by the rusty wire, which is how she ended up in this state. Lu Yixuan had no choice but to bring her back first to clean the wound. This plot seems somewhat familiar to me. In her previous life, Deng Yangyang and Jiang Chen jointly adopted a little dog, named Pudding or something like that. It is said that the two of them saw a dying puppy while they were out, and after Deng Yangyang rescued it, they decided to adopt it. This dog also became a beautiful testament to her sweet love with Jiang Chen, as it was the first time the two of them had adopted a pet together. She is Pudding's mother, and Jiang Chen is Pudding's father. Later, I accidentally found out that the little dog was actually deliberately injured and left on the roadside by Deng Yangyang. Because Jiang Chen likes dogs, she set up such a scheme. The purpose was to take her relationship with Jiang Chen to the next level. I glanced at the dirty little white cat beside me, and suddenly a sweet, soft voice rang in my ears. Senior Lu, don't you think it looks so adorable? How about we give it a name? How about calling it Pudding? Deng Yangyang's smiling face, radiant as a flower, came into my view. Sure enough, she's trying to turn Lu Yixuan into the male lead. Jiang Chen likes dogs, Lu Yixuan likes cats. She really knows how to cater to their preferences. I turned my gaze toward Lu Yixuan, and he happened to look back at me. Their gazes collided. How about calling it Ugly Monster? It's really too ugly. What do you think, brother? I said coolly. Lu Yixuan's eyes flickered slightly, his tone teasing. It really doesn't look very good. Deng Yangyang's expression stiffened, her smile fading slightly. The little kitten naturally settled in at the Lu family's home. It became Deng Yangyang's wingman, making her visits to the No.1 mansion more frequent. Even Mrs. Lu came to know her, occasionally exchanging a few words with Deng Yangyang. I often hear the clamor in the garden. Pudding, come here, come to mommy. Perhaps before long, she'll say, Pudding, go to daddy. When I went downstairs in the evening, I saw Lu Yixi idly teasing the clown cat. Second brother, what brand of cat food did you feed Pudding last time? I noticed she really liked it. Deng Yangyang leaned in, her tone carrying her unique coquettishness. After she realized what she had said, a hint of shyness appeared on her face. Sorry, Lu Yixi, can I call you second brother like my sister does? Lu Yixi didn't make a fuss about it, just nodded calmly. Whatever you like, second brother, she called out with a bright smile. My footsteps suddenly halted. Deng Yangyang's ambition seems even greater than I had imagined. She not only wants to turn Lu Yixuan into the male lead but also transform Lu Yixi into the role of Guizhou. She wants to capture both brothers in one fell swoop, then completely take my place. Just as Deng Yangyang was about to return home, I called her upstairs. I'll go back with you. What? She slowly raised her head. You wanted me to move back, right? I agree. Help me with my luggage, and let's see what excuse you'll have to come here in the future. Huh. Deng Yangyang acted as if she had heard some incredible joke, crossing her arms and looking at me with arrogant provocation. Gu Xinyan, who do you think you are? Asking me to help you with your luggage. Whether you move or not is up to you. What I want to tell you is that I will eventually live in this house. She finally dropped the act. Quite the bold statement. I sneered. You've got quite the daydream going on. For a protagonist in a pampered story to end up like you is truly a rare sight. Your skin is thicker than a city wall. Do you really have no idea where that cat came from? So, what does it matter? Gu Xinyan, I told you. If I could take it from you once, I can take it again. Honestly, I'm getting a bit tired of living in your family's house. The No.1 mansion, on the other hand, suits me perfectly. Only a place like that is worthy of me. You're right. Compared to the Lu brothers, Guizhou isn't even worth as much as a maggot in a latrine. I'll give Jiang Chen back to you too. I've lost interest in him. Why don't we just go back to where we belong? You return to the Gu family, and I'll take my place in the Lu residence. I've lived this long and never seen someone so shameless. Deng Yangyang has completely shattered my perception, my temples throbbing. I won't let you have your way. She smiled easily, her tone both carefree and arrogant. Then it depends on whether you have the ability. Soon, Deng Yangyang could no longer act arrogantly. Mrs. Lu suddenly announced that the family would be temporarily living abroad, although Chairman Lu's health had recovered. He still needed to continue with rehabilitation. The medical team abroad advised him not to return to the country for the time being, so that he could undergo follow-up examinations at any time. After a moment of thought, Madame Lu decided to move the entire family to Europe, planning to return only after 3 to 5 years, once Chairman Lu's health had improved. After all, their domestic business was managed by professionals, requiring little oversight. And the house would be looked after by hired caretakers. When Deng Yangyang heard the news, her expression was as if she had been struck by a cannonball. It took her a long while to regain her composure before she could find her voice again. So, is your whole family moving abroad? Yes, Pudding, you'll have to take him back with you. Lu Yixuan handed over the clown cat's cat food to Deng Yangyang as well. The other person still looked bewildered, staring at me in a daze. What about Gu Xinyan? Xinyan is definitely coming with us, Lu Yixuan said matter-of-factly. Why should she? Deng Yangyang cried out in disbelief. The next second, her sharp, resentful gaze suddenly swept toward me, her expression so full of deep-seated hatred as if I had just carved out her heart. Her intense reaction left Lu Yixuan somewhat baffled. What do you mean? Why? Realizing her own outburst, Deng Yangyang's expression turned somewhat flustered. I mean my parents will miss her. She can't go with you. I'm afraid that's for her to decide. Xinyan, do you want to come with us? I thought of something. Uncle Lin mentioned that you used to live in a castle in France that was bought by my grandfather a long time ago, in Lyon, in the south of France. Why? Lu Yixuan lowered his eyes, looking at me with confusion. I smiled at him. Nothing, I've never lived in a castle before, so I definitely want to go and see it. Lu Yixuan seemed to let out a sigh of relief, instinctively patting the top of my head. Don't worry, I guarantee you'll fall in love with the place after just one day. Deng Yangyang's lips were nearly bitten until they bled, her fingers digging deep into her flesh. She tried her best to restrain herself, but her face still turned as dark as could be. In the evening, Uncle Wang drove me back to the Gu family. After all, I'm going abroad next month, so I wanted to sort through the things I had left at home to see if there was anything useful. Deng Yangyang was also in the car, holding that ugly cat in her arms. Her expression made me feel like she could strangle that ugly cat at any moment. Finally home, she threw the cat on the floor, turned around, her expression twisted. Gu Xinyan, you're quite pleased with yourself, aren't you? Of course, I'm pleased, especially seeing her look so furious. It's absolutely delightful to me. I wouldn't say I'm proud, but I'm in a pretty good mood. Deng Yangyang gritted her teeth. So what if you go abroad? You're just a cannon fodder supporting character. Indeed, this cannon fodder supporting character, am finally going to stay far away from you, the beloved female lead of the story. From now on, we'll be worlds apart, with no connection between us. Wishing you and Jiang Chen all the sweetness and love. As for me, I've been thinking lately that Lu Yixuan is quite handsome. After all, we're not real siblings. You know what I mean. Deng Yangyang has been coveting Lu Yixuan for so long. Perhaps she has long begun to fantasize about her married life with him and the scene of herself moving into the one mansion. My words were no less than a blow to the heart. Sure enough, in the next second, Deng Yangyang's expression could already be described as utterly ferocious. Having lived 2 lifetimes, I finally experienced the exhilarating sense of pleasure at this moment. Yangyang, what are you making all that noise about? A voice came from the doorway. It turned out that Mom and Dad had returned. Xinyan, you're back. Mom looked at me with surprise. Just came back to get a few things. I'll be leaving in a moment. I responded indifferently and then went up to my room. Not long after, my mother came up to my room and chatted about this and that for a while. Although I could clearly tell she had something to say, I didn't want to ask about it. Xinyan, I've discussed it with your dad. Since you like the room on the 2nd floor, we'll let you have it. Yangyang has agreed too. Belated concern is worth less than grass. No need. I'm going abroad next month and won't be back for several years. You can arrange the living arrangements however you like. My mother's expression faltered slightly. You're going abroad? Yes, Mrs. Lu has decided to stay in France for a while. I'm going with their family and will likely finish high school there. My mother's face changed, her tone filled with reproach and dissatisfaction. Do you really not plan on coming back to this home? Your family of 4 seems to be living quite happily, and I'm doing very well over there too. It's better this way. No need to disturb each other. Gu Xinyan, don't forget that I gave birth to you. Of course I haven't forgotten, don't worry. After you turn 60, I'll send you a monthly living allowance. No need. If you really want to repay the favor, introduce me to Mrs. Lu right now. I stopped packing my suitcase, understanding dawning on me. That's why she came up. Actually, I had already anticipated it. In my previous life, at this time, my father Gu Hongbin's company had a broken capital chain, encountered some problems, and was almost on the verge of bankruptcy. In the end, my mother asked me to go and plead with Mrs. Jiang. That is, Jiang Chen's mother. Aunt Jiang liked me very much. Almost from a young age she had decided that I was their daughter-in-law. Before Dang Yangyang came to my house, I once thought I would marry Jiang Chen, but childhood sweethearts are no match for fate, and later my relationship with Jiang Chen grew worse and worse, and the two of us just drifted apart. The more Aunt Jiang liked me, the more she disliked Dang Yangyang. She always felt that Dang Yangyang was cunning and had ulterior motives, and she thought the other party was like Su Yingmei in Temptation of Eve. I have to say, on this point, my view aligns perfectly with that of Aunt Jiang. After Jiang Chen fell for Dang Yangyang, Aunt Jiang felt very guilty towards me, knowing how deep my feelings for Jiang Chen were. When I went to ask her to help our Gu family through the crisis, she agreed without hesitation. It was precisely with the injection of Jiang family funds that my father's company was able to recover and get back on track. I never expected that in this lifetime, my mother would change her mind and have me go cling to Mrs. Lu's leg. The legs of the chairman's wife of Hanlin Group are indeed much thicker than those of Aunt Jiang. I sneered coldly. Give me a reason. Your father's company is in trouble and needs a sum of money. Sorry, I can't help. My mother looked at me in disbelief. Gu Xinyan, we are your biological parents. Can't you even do this little thing for us? Have you forgotten how you grew up all these years? I curled my lips into a smile. So you still remember I'm your biological daughter. Why does Dang Yangyang have a room on the second floor with a luxurious bathtub and floor-to-ceiling windows, while I live in the nanny's room on the first floor? Why did you send Dang Yangyang to a 600,000 year elite high school, while making me attend a 10,000 year ordinary high school? What do you mean, a 10,000 year ordinary high school? Aren't you also at Hanlin Academy? The other person impatiently cut me off, because that's exactly how you treated me in my past life. I couldn't help but shout out loud. You and my dad spent a fortune on Dang Yangyang's wedding at a 5-star hotel, invested millions in sending Guizhou abroad to study. Yet you wouldn't spare a single penny for my medical treatment, in my previous life. A few days before Dang Yangyang's wedding, Guizhou returned from France to attend her ceremony, and the whole family was filled with joy. During those days, I was suffering from a severe cold, and work wasn't going smoothly either, so I called my mother. You'd better not come to Yangyang's wedding. She still has a thorn in her heart about you trying to seduce Jiang Chen before. It's best for the two of you not to meet, and we can't afford to lose face like that. My mother's words made my body tremble uncontrollably. The seduction of Jiang Chen she mentioned refers to the day a year ago when Dang Yangyang got engaged to Jiang Chen. I accidentally drank too much, and when I woke up the next day, I found myself in Jiang Chen's bed. Dang Yangyang almost cried herself to the point of fainting. In the end, Jiang Chen swore a solemn oath that he had fallen asleep and done nothing, and only then did Dang Yangyang forgive him. The two of them were as close as before. On the other hand, was nearly laughed at by all the relatives of the Gu and Jiang families until my teeth fell out. My father immediately announced that he was severing ties with me, saying he would act as if he had never had such a shameless daughter, and that his property would only be left to Guizhou and Dang Yangyang in the future. Everyone sympathized with Jiang Chen and Dang Yangyang, blaming me, the green tea bitch, for ruining the engagement ceremony of that young couple. But the truth is, I never drink alcohol. On the day of the engagement ceremony, I only drank a glass of orange juice handed to me by Dang Yangyang, and then I lost consciousness. No one was willing to listen to my explanation, including my closest family members. Trembling with anger, I finally managed to trick Dang Yangyang into telling the truth over the phone on the morning of her wedding day. Perhaps it was the impending happiness that clouded her judgment and made her let her guard down. Over the phone, Dang Yangyang proudly revealed the truth to me. That's right, I was the one who put the drug in your cup. So what? Who would believe you, Gu Xinyan, who told Jiang Chen's mother to like you so much? You're just a cannon fodder supporting character, and you're really in the way. I'm going to teach you a lesson. That's exactly the sentence I wanted from her. Is that so? I wonder if you'll still be able to smile so smugly at the wedding later. Realizing she was being recorded, Dang Yang quickly snapped out of it. In the end, she decided to go all the way and ordered her obsessive admirer to stab me to death. Finally, I collapsed in that silent, dirty alley. I died alone in despair, thinking of my tragic and pitiful self from my previous life. My hatred spread uncontrollably, yet my mother wore an expression of disgust. Are you crazy? What on earth are you talking about? After a long while, I finally regained my composure. What makes you think that just because I introduced Mrs. Liu to you, she would unconditionally help you inject funds? I don't want to get involved in your affairs, and I don't want to be accused of using favors to demand repayment. You can solve this yourselves, ignoring my mother's words. I swiftly sent another video to Aunt Jiang. After that, I will turn off my phone for a whole week. Remind Butler Lin that I will not see anyone who comes to know one mansion looking for me. Half a month later, my father indeed went bankrupt. The house in prosperous Jiangnan was listed online at an extremely low price. To avoid creditors, I heard the family was planning to move to the countryside. Deng Yang realized the seriousness of the situation and quickly turned back to find Jiang Chen, only to discover that he had already gone abroad. She didn't even know which country he had gone to. Deng Yang shamelessly went to find Aunt Jiang, but only received a sharp and piercing glare in return. The reason for this was a video I had sent, a video of Jiang Chen kneeling on the ground, desperately begging Deng Yang. At that time, Deng Yang was pursuing Lu Yixuan. Having originally agreed to be Jiang Chen's girlfriend, she quickly dumped him after shifting her affections elsewhere. Unexpectedly, Jiang Chen was a hopeless romantic who kept clinging on and refused to let go. Coincidentally, I went back to get something that night and captured that short video clip right at the doorstep. Seeing her son so humbled, Mrs. Jiang, who had never liked Deng Yang in the first place, was so furious she nearly coughed up blood. She swiftly arranged for Jiang Chen to drop out of school and go abroad. By the time my parents went to their doorstep again to ask for help, the proud and arrogant Mrs. Jiang directly announced that she was cutting ties with the Gu family. So, my dad went bankrupt. After learning about these things, I was actually quite calm. In my heart, their family and I had long since become strangers. On Friday, I saw my dad at the school gate. He looks quite haggard, as if he has aged 10 years overnight. The family's Benz has been replaced with a Wuling Hongguang. Moreover, today he is here to handle the transfer for Gu Yizhou and Deng Yang. It seems the two are transferring to a rural high school. Gu Yizhou looked as dejected as a frostbitten eggplant. As for Deng Yang, she appeared quite calm, but I knew she was just putting on a brave face. As the beloved heroine of the story, she had completely derailed this time. Originally, as long as she didn't do anything foolish, she could easily win over Jiang Chen, even if Jiang's mother didn't like her. It wouldn't stop her from marrying Jiang Chen right after graduation and becoming the young master's beloved wife. She could enjoy a life of luxury and comfort, having afternoon tea with friends every day and indulging in endless shopping. Now, everything has turned into water reflecting the moon and flowers in a mirror, illusory and unattainable. After all these years of hard work, it feels like I've been set back to square one. Deng Yang had struggled so hard to leave the orphanage in her small town, only to be sent back to her roots and return to the countryside. How could she possibly accept that? Perhaps her heart is bleeding inside. My dad looked at me with a very unpleasant expression, but when he saw Lu Yixi beside me, he said nothing. Uncle Wang's car had already arrived. As I walked over and closed the car door, I unexpectedly met Deng Yang's gaze. I suddenly felt a chill run down my spine. It's no exaggeration to say that she is like a venomous cobra, staring at me with a sinister gaze. It sends chills down one's spine. I still called Gu Yizhou and told her to be wary of Deng Yang. Gu Xinyan, what more do you want? You could tell from the tone on the phone that the other person was in a very bad mood. What do you mean? How are we doing? Our whole family has been ruined by you, and now you want to come and laugh at us. I know you're going abroad. You're so great. You're amazing. Don't call again in the future. I was about to hang up directly, but in the end, I asked one more question. What do you mean by ruined by me? Gu Yizhou sneered contemptuously. You're really something. Gu Xinyan, Mom and Dad raised you so well, yet you stood by and watched our family go bankrupt without lifting a finger. I'd like to see what kind of fate awaits someone like you in the future. Don't worry. I've already experienced the worst possible outcome. And the ending you're facing now is exactly what you deserve. As soon as the words were spoken, there was a click on the other end as the call was abruptly hung up. On Saturday, my mom called to say that they would be moving to the countryside in a couple of days. Sinyan, your father and I would like to invite Mrs. Lu and her family for a meal. After all, you've been staying at their place for so long. And soon you'll be going abroad with them. They really are relentless in their schemes. No need, we don't have time. How could you not have time? I promise you, we just want to thank them properly. Do you really think I'd believe that? On the phone, my mom fell silent for a moment. Sinyan, Mom has been thinking a lot about the past lately, and I feel really sorry for you. Before you go abroad, I want to apologize to you and sincerely thank Mrs. Lu. I don't have any other intentions at all. Can you agree to this? After a long pause, Mrs. Lu hasn't been home these past few days. Then, I'll ask Lu Ishuan if he's free. That works too. As long as we've made our intentions clear, it's fine. The next day, Guizhou sent me the location of the farm. Before setting off, I still felt a bit hesitant and pulled Lu Ishuan aside. You really don't have to go. I can go by myself. The other person lowered their gaze, a gentle smile curving their deep-set eyes. It's just having a meal with your parents. Aren't you a bit too nervous? I sighed. They definitely have something up their sleeves. Maybe they'll ask you for money. Whatever you do, don't pay them any attention. Lu Ishuan nodded very obediently. All right, I'll listen to you. Since it was for dinner, it was already evening by the time we arrived at the farmhouse. My mother warmly came forward to greet Lu Ishuan, and my father also showed a rare smile on his face. Guizhou and Deng Yangyang are both here. At the dining table, Lu Ishuan spoke with elegance and grace. And my mother seemed to like him very much, chatting with him non-stop. Deng Yangyang was diligently pouring tea on the side, her eyes almost glued to Lu Ishuan's face. The spicy chicken was a bit too spicy, and I was choking badly. Deng Yangyang hurriedly went outside to bring me a glass of ice water. Sis, are you okay? Meeting her concerned gaze, I calmly took the water glass and took a small sip. On the way, Lu Ishuan went out to answer a phone call. My mother hesitated several times, as if she wanted to speak but held back. Sinyan, Mrs. Lu's family is so wealthy. Sending a couple more people abroad shouldn't be a problem, right? Your brother's grades are so good. It's a real shame for him to transfer to the countryside. Yang Yang doesn't want to go to the countryside either, so maybe. I put down my chopsticks and looked at her expressionlessly. My mother suddenly fell silent and didn't say anything more. After eating, I felt a bit drowsy. Outside, night had long since fallen. If you're very tired, go rest in the guest room for a while. You, young Master Lu, don't go back tonight. Your dad booked a few rooms at the farmhouse, one for each of you. Mom wants to talk with you a bit more. A chill ran through my heart, until the other party escorted me to the guest room door. I called out to my mother, who was about to leave. Mom, you should know Lu Ishuan's identity, right? She looked at me somewhat puzzled. Of course. What's wrong? Nothing much. I just wanted to remind you that he is the eldest son of Lu Zhennan, the chairman of Hanlin Group, and also the future heir of the entire Lu family. I hope you can understand that clearly. My mother's expression froze for a moment, her grayish eyes seeming to flinch slightly before she immediately turned her head away. I know, I had guessed that my parents were hiding something from me, but I never imagined they would be so reckless as to set a fire. By the time I noticed smoke drifting into the room, the hallway was already engulfed in towering flames. I broke out in a cold sweat and rushed out to find Lu Ishuan, only to discover that the door wouldn't open no matter how hard I tried. The flames outside grew fiercer, and my heart pounded harder. Uncle Wang. It suddenly dawned on me, Lu Ishuan had always asked Uncle Wang to wait for us outside the farmhouse. I quickly pulled out my phone, but before I could dial, a loud crash came from the window behind me. I turned around and saw Uncle Wang holding a hammer, smashing the original aluminum window to pieces. Miss Sinyan, come out from here quickly, Uncle Wang called to me. I hurried over and anxiously asked, where is Lu Ishuan? Young Master Ishuan has already come out, he's downstairs. I breathed a sigh of relief and leaned out the window, indeed spotting him on the bluestone path below, quickly climbing onto the windowsill. Even though the distance was a bit high, I couldn't worry about that now. I just had to grit my teeth and jump. Fortunately, Lu Ishuan caught me steadily. I almost couldn't get up. My heart was pounding like a drum, scared to death. Seeing my pale face, Lu Ishuan asked with concern, what's wrong? Covering my chest, I said with lingering fear. Thank goodness you're okay, otherwise I'd have to kill myself to atone. and you actually still managed to smile. Is it that exaggerated? Not at all exaggerated. Even if I had 100 lives, they wouldn't be enough to make up for this one of yours. By the time a few of us made our way to the front courtyard, the row of guest rooms we had just stayed in was already engulfed in a sea of flames. My mother stood trembling by the flower bed, looking utterly terrified. I walked over. Mom, what on earth is going on? When she saw me, it was as if she had seen a ghost. Sinyan, you're okay. Don't tell me this fire was set by you. My mother's tears instantly fell as she shook her head in a flustered manner. We didn't mean to do it on purpose, just as I thought. I felt all the hairs on my body stand on end. Are you all insane? Her tears fell even more heavily. It was Yang Yang. Yang Yang said that as long as we set a fire and put on a show. If I could save Lu Yixuan in the fire, Mrs. Lu would definitely send her to study abroad on this Izhou. She also said that you only managed to save Chairman Lu back then by sheer luck. We never expected the wind to be so strong tonight, and the fire to spread so fiercely. I really can't stand that idiot Deng Yang Yang. I can't believe she came up with such an idea. What about my dad and Guizhou? And they went to call for help to put out the fire. The fire was too intense. There was nothing we could do but wait for the fire truck to arrive. Fortunately, Lu Yixuan had already called 119. Not long after, I saw my dad and Guizhou stumbling over. Seeing me and Lu Yixuan, their faces turned pale, and they couldn't utter a single word. Where's Yang Yang? My mom suddenly asked. The father and son were taken aback. Didn't Yang Yang come out? The atmosphere fell into an eerie silence. I actually quite like this kind of atmosphere. Could she have burned to death? The three people across from them visibly trembled. Burning her alone is one thing, but if it harms others, Dad, you'll be waiting to go to jail. You must have seen those news stories from before, like a tightly stretched string suddenly snapping. My father collapsed to the ground. Bad news, Deng Yang Yang didn't die in the fire. Good news, she's disfigured. 70% of her body is covered in burns. And I heard her fingers are completely gone. Even if Jiang Chen truly loves her and manages to break free from his mother's control to come back for her someday, he'd probably be scared out of his wits. I can't speak for others, but Jiang Chen is a full-blown member of the looks-obsessed club. As for my parents, although the fire didn't cause any other casualties, the farmhouse suffered severe damage. The owner wasted no time and sued the two of them with lightning speed. My father is the principal offender, and my mother is an accomplice. Facing a sentence of 3 to 10 years, the exact duration is still unclear. As for Guizhou, because his parents took on part of the responsibility and he was still a few months short of adulthood, he managed to escape punishment. Although he avoided legal penalties, the mountain of debt is no easy burden, and the farm owner is no philanthropist. I heard he has to drop out of school and go to work. Arrogant and self-important Guizhou could no longer continue the glory of his previous life, and could only become an insignificant ant among the masses. Speaking of Deng Yang Yang, I went to see her during her hospital stay. She was wrapped up like a mummy, completely unrecognizable as a person. As soon as she saw me, she started shouting and making a fuss, incredibly noisy, with her face wrapped in bandages. I couldn't see her expression clearly, but I could guess from her wildly furious eyes that she was responding to my friendly greeting. I shook my head and sighed softly. Nothing much. Just came to see how miserable you are. I won't be coming again in the future, and the grudge between us is over. You probably intended to burn me to death that day, otherwise my door and window wouldn't have been inexplicably stuck. Perhaps this is what they call, the wicked will meet their doom. Try to look on the bright side and live the rest of your life well, though that's probably unlikely. If one person wins once, we can consider it a draw. Let's shake hands and make peace. Oh, sorry, I forgot you don't have hands. A painful, piercing wail echoed through the hospital room. A nurse hurried over to see what was happening, and I quickly apologized. I'm sorry, I was just trying to comfort her. But she got too emotional, walking out of the hospital. Uncle Wang's car was waiting for me outside. They say it's easy to go from frugality to luxury but hard to go from luxury back to frugality. I've gotten used to being a young lady these days, and I think I'll have a hard time adjusting later. Returning to No. 1 mansion, I started packing my things. In fact, apart from a few clothes and toiletries, there really wasn't much to pack. I plan to bid farewell to Madame Lu once she returns. It's better to look for a place online first. I won't shoulder a single penny of Guizhou's debts. Renting a small studio shouldn't be too much of a burden. As for tuition fees, after finishing this semester, I'll have to transfer to another school immediately. I can't afford the tuition at Hanlon Academy. A knock sounded at the door. Come up. It was Lu Yixuan. He immediately noticed the packed luggage on the bed, his brow furrowing almost imperceptibly. What are you doing? I smiled at him. Nothing much. Just taking advantage of some free time to tidy up a few things. Are you moving out? Something like that. Why? Lu Yixuan looked at me seriously. Are you not used to living here? It's not that I'm not used to it. On the contrary, I'm just too used to it, afraid that one day in the future I won't be able to handle the psychological gap. Besides, I don't have any reason to stay here anymore. Well, thank you for taking care of me during this time, but all good things must come to an end. It's about time for me to leave. Lu Yixuan fell silent for a moment, his expression unusually gentle. Where are you planning to move? I don't know yet. Still looking for a place. You can stay here as long as you want. It's convenient for school, and you're in the same grade as Lu Yixi. I'll probably transfer schools next semester. His eyes widened in surprise. Why, truly a young master untouched by the ways of the world. Just as I was about to explain, Lu Yixuan seemed to understand. Hanlon Academy offers several scholarship spots each year with full tuition coverage, so you really don't need to transfer schools. Is that so? This is the first time I've heard about it. If I could secure a scholarship spot, it would indeed save me the trouble of transferring schools. As for accommodation, I really don't like owing people. I moved in back then because of this mutual benefit with Mrs. Lu. I saved Chairman Lu, and she helped me get revenge. Now, we are even. I remember you said before that we are both in a book. You are the cannon fodder female supporting character, and I am an extra who doesn't even have a name. Lu Yixuan remembered something, staring intently at me as if waiting for my answer. I had indeed said this to air. That day, I came across a news article on my phone reporting the sudden disappearance of Lu Zhennan, the chairman of Hanlon Group, the city's wealthiest man. Upon seeing the news, I suddenly had a moment of enlightenment. Because in my previous life, I had also come across this news. This billionaire's favorite thing to do in life was to ditch his bodyguards and go exploring alone in the deep mountains and old forests. In the end, he met his downfall in an unexpected place. Chairman Lu accidentally fell from a cliff while climbing Wuji Peak, due to the delayed rescue and prolonged unconsciousness. He ultimately succumbed to his condition at the age of 50. I recall that in my previous life. The search and rescue team found Director Lu at the base of the third peak of Wuxhaifeng Mountain. After recalling this clue, I immediately rented a car and headed to Wuxhaifeng Mountain. I spent nearly half the night searching alone in the deep mountains and finally found Chairman Lu, who had been unconscious for 2 full days. I fired a signal flare and also called the citizen hotline. Not long after, the helicopter was circling overhead, in the hospital. Lu Yixuan saw me for the first time and asked me strangely why a girl would appear in the deep mountains and old forests in the middle of the night. As if possessed, I actually told him the truth. To this day, I still remember the indescribable expression on his face at that time. You don't believe it? Lu Yixuan shook his head. Actually, I believed it for a long time. Can you tell me what my father's final outcome was in the original book? I paused for a moment, then still said, passed away. Lying unconscious in the deep mountains for 7 days, the rescue team arrived too late. Lu Yixuan didn't seem particularly surprised, as if he had long anticipated my response. Suddenly, he lifted his head, his gaze bright and his tone sincere. Xinyan, you may never understand what my father meant to me and to our family. You can stay in our home for as long as you wish, and even make any request of me, of course. I know Lu Yixuan wasn't confessing his feelings, but expressing gratitude. But it was still a bit too charming. Any request is acceptable. He chuckled lightly and replied, yes, my heart is pounding. This is just like a Shangfang sword. Lu Yixuan seems to have been a bit too accommodating to me. What if one day I ask you to be my boyfriend? Forget it. Might as well stay since it's free. I can't be bothered to be pretentious. Moreover, who could resist Lu Yixuan speaking in such a gentle tone? And so, I continued to live at No. 1 mansion until I graduated from high school. And then, in the same year, Lu Yixi went to study in France. What a coincidence. It was still the prestigious school that Guizhou attended in his previous life. On the first day of school, I wandered through the picturesque campus. Lu Yixuan beside me took many beautiful photos for me, and then couldn't help but post them on his social media. Guizhou, whom I haven't been in touch with for years, gave a like under one of my WeChat moments. I didn't say anything, and my heart didn't even stir. To me at this moment, you are no different from a stranger. Our life paths are like two intersecting lines, growing further apart.